we all need to build that white space into our daily routines where we can recharge ourselves, give the opportunity to have creativity, to visualize, to be energized. It's one of the reasons I started this podcast was I got so numb because of the burnout and the hustle. It's something I wouldn't want anyone else in the world to experience. So if I can help someone not go through it, as you just described, that's a huge win in my mind.
What's really horrible about hustle is that we feel guilty if we don't. I'm right now in the launch phase of my book, and the amount of illusions, oh, why do you value balance? Why do you want to spend time with your kids? Isn't your success important to you? It's so tempting to feel guilty if you don't put blood, sweat, and everything, if you don't do horrible sacrifices on the altar of your success, because that's the paradigm with which we grow up. Look around. Have you ever heard a story of somebody succeeding by doing what they love? We mostly hear stories about people succeeding because they have suffered, because they were willing to give up everything. And if that's the only paradigm that we have, then no surprise, first of all, that we think that we have to hustle for success. If we don't, we either feel like imposters because why did it come easy? Or that it's not going to be durable. Oh, if it came easy, then it's not going to last. It's not real success. The thing about our brain is that there is a reticular activating system in our brain and our nervous system that actually makes sure that we notice what we focus on. Whatever you believe, you're going to notice in your environment. If you believe that the only way to success is hustle, sacrifices, that's the only evidence you're going to see. And that's your life. That's how you're going to be living. And we as a society keep reinforcing that idea, but it's not the only possible solution. You can achieve success by doing what you love, what has meaning for you.
So I think that one of the reasons that we stay in this mode of hustle culture is this topic of autopilot, which you cover in part 3 of your book. And I actually dedicated myself a whole chapter to it in my upcoming book. I call it Living a Pinball Life. And I give the analogy that we let the game of pinball play us, and we get so distracted and so consumed with everything that's going around us that we don't take the time to learn how to master the game. And I was hoping you could share what you feel it means to live on autopilot and how does it impact the life that we want to have.
Of course, my big curse is that I'm too aware. Sometimes it's good to be on autopilot. And there's a reason why we go on autopilot. We make so many decisions throughout the day, and there is an objectively such a phenomenon as decision fatigue. We all would have experienced that if we had a long day of discussions, for example. By the end of the day, it's almost physically hard to make decisions. And research shows that such decisions are worse quality. Our better quality decisions happen when we are rested and we haven't had to take a lot of decisions. What we do is that naturally we look for shortcuts. That's why we like routines, we like traditions, we like certain patterns in our life. That's why Steve Jobs used to wear exactly the same clothes, so he has one less decision in his life. Proverbial Steve Jobs with his clothes. But there is a reason for that, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing if it serves you. The problem is that very often we create certain habits, they evolve and they stay with us for such a long time that, number one, we forgot why we have those habits or those patterns. Number two, sometimes they evolve to the point where they're not helpful anymore. And number three, sometimes we do them on autopilot without even getting the benefit of it. A very controversial example. One of the most popular practices in personal growth and transformation is gratitude. Gratitude is a really good practice, but a lot of people do it for such a long time and so much on autopilot that what it becomes is in essence just this checking the boxes. Now, gratitude changes your life if you actually feel it, experience it, if it's actually meaningful. Not that I'm grateful that I have a house, a body, and a health and whatever, which you have every day, but actually maybe if it's a little bit more up to date. What am I grateful for in this particular moment, or whatever happened to me today? Or the thing is that once you keep doing something on autopilot, sometimes it stops working for you. But there is a natural tendency to create autopilot in our life because otherwise we'd get exhausted. with constant decision making. Now, I think the balance is to revisit some of your autopilot from time to time, practice awareness, obviously, have awareness on request. You can anchor it to certain daily routines so that you practice awareness. For example, when you're doing exercises, you know how it is in exercises in the gym. They say that if you do the same exercises over and over again, your body gets used to that and you don't get the same benefit, which is why a lot of trainers, and I'm not saying that's the right way or the only way, but a lot of trainers would make you change your exercises so that it actually starts working for you again. So it's good to bring awareness into your autopilot, but we also have to be fine with the fact that we'll keep having autopilot in our life because that makes it easier.